Welcome back to the City Current Radio Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're diving into the world of soccer. So we're joined by Mark Forrest. He is the technical director at Lobos Rush. How are you doing, Mark?
I'm good, Jeremy. How are you?
Doing very well. So we get to dive into the world of soccer. Let's start with a little background. Give us some context. When I say Lobos Rush, define Lobos Rush so we have an idea, and then we'll dive into the soccer here in the Mid-South.
Sure. So first of all, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be on with y'all. Lobos Rush is a competitive soccer club. It's actually competitive and recreational. It's a soccer club based out of Collierville. So it's the biggest club in this area. We've got about 1,200 kids playing. So it's a lot of growing soccer players and a lot of parents that are involved with us as well. So we like to think of ourselves as the premier experience for competitive soccer players in this area, and that's what we're trying to provide.
When you talk about that number of kids and parents, give us an idea of, obviously where you play, traveling. Give us an idea of what the schedule tends to look like in the season.
So we used to joke that there was an off season, but now that the way things have kind of developed, there's no such thing. We kind of go all year round, depending on your level. But basically the season runs from August. We have a small break for Christmas, depending on the teams. And then we finish usually with state championships in May or June. In terms of travel, we've been blessed to go all over God's green earth. We're in San Diego, we're in Greensville, North Carolina. We just got back from Sarasota in Florida at the national championships, so that was fun. It can be quite expensive at times, but it's a great experience for the kids, and the ability to kind of travel and see what America has to offer is fantastic. We're also lucky enough to be part of a big organization called Rush. That's actually the biggest soccer club in the world. And we get the opportunity to kind of travel abroad and go and see some sites. We just had a team come back from Greece. We've had teams go to Italy. So to answer your question, we're kind of traveling domestically and internationally all over the place, which is fun.
Well, when you talk about international, give us a little bit of your personal storyline, because obviously you have some international flair yourself. So give us a little bit of your personal background.
Well, I was born and raised in Horn Lake, Mississippi, as you can tell. I'm kidding. The accent, I don't come with subtitles, unfortunately. I was born and raised in Scotland. I came over here to play college soccer. Went to college, loved it, stayed. I was a 23-year-old freshman, so I was a little bit seasoned, as they might say. I went to school in Jackson, Tennessee, Union University. Loved it. Went back, did a master's, came back and moved to Memphis. Met my wife, and the rest is history, as they say. And I've never looked back. And to be fair, I love it. The Mid-South has been wonderful. Memphis has been wonderful. The people are great. Big city, small town atmosphere, and it's been tremendous to me.
But that's, I think, part of the benefit, like you said, for the youth and the families. You get the global experience because soccer is a global sport. And so when you talk about tying in, and especially on the competitive side, there are global opportunities with this sport. So carry that forward, and then we'll talk about the 2021 U.S. Youth Soccer National Championships, which, as you mentioned, just kind of wrapped up. But give us an idea, when you talk about the opportunities here being global, what does that look like for some of the youth?
So since I came over in 2003, the explosion of soccer, it's been overwhelming, quite frankly. I mean, soccer was kind of, and it's not in its infancy, but it's just developed and grown. And the Major League Soccer, we've now got our own professional team in Memphis with Memphis 901. So these teams are now really attracting a different generation and a different breed of soccer fan and soccer player. We had a kid that played with us that went on to, before he went to college, went to play in Germany. And he played for a professional team in the second division in Germany. And then he came back over and obviously went to college and he's playing right now. So, I mean, these opportunities for these kids to be scouted by European teams and what have you is very real. In fact, we've got on the women's side, we've got two or three girls right now playing professionally in Scandinavia. So, I mean, women's soccer in Scandinavia is huge. The opportunities for these kids are great. And it's a great avenue for these kids that maybe go on and play in college to continue to play as well. And it kind of all starts with the grassroots soccer, the ground floor soccer skills that they're getting from us and from other clubs locally and regionally.
Talk about the framework, because you mentioned there's a rec side, there's a competitive side.
Sure.
So talk about kind of the framework so that for those who are either younger or new to soccer, where do they start and then building into the process and the system?
So it starts at the very bottom. I've got a 2.5-year-old daughter, and I know she's probably not going to be a soccer player. I'm going to be blessed with a ballerina or a pianist or whatever it might be, and that's fine. But we start at 3 years old with Munchkin Madness. That was the toughest and most rewarding 45 minutes of my coaching life when I had to do those sessions. Organized chaos, it was fantastic. So we start at the bottom with the 3-year-olds, and then we kind of start competitive soccer at 8. But between 3 and 8, there's recreational soccer. So it's kind of what you see on TV. It's dads who have played football all their life, or moms who played volleyball and maybe not necessarily don't know a whole lot about soccer, just getting out and coaching their kids and cheering and just kind of bringing a joy to their lives and fostering a love of the game. And then when you get from, if you've got a desire to go on and do a little bit more, the competitive side kicks in about 8 years old, and then it goes all the way through to 18. The competitive side is, I mean, it's 3, 4, 5 nights a week, depending on the level of team. It's professional coaches, it's traveling, as we mentioned earlier. And then that's kind of what puts you in the shop window almost to go on and play in college.
So let's dive in and give us a highlight of the 2021 U.S. Youth Soccer National Championships. When you talk about really representing the Mid-South and doing it in a powerful way, really cool storyline there. So give us a highlight.
Sure. So we sent 4 teams to the USYS National Championships in Sarasota. That is the most that we've sent, and it's a huge deal. To put things into perspective, Memphis has about, I beg your pardon, this whole state of Tennessee has about 40,000 soccer players. The Dallas metro area has about 100,000 soccer players. So for us to be putting teams at a national event consistently is a huge deal. It's a compliment to the coaches, to the players, to the parents, to the staff. So we got 2 teams that made it to the Final Four, and then 2 teams didn't advance out the group stage. But again, a huge achievement. We're right there. Hopefully next time when we go, we'll bring home a national championship. But it's a great experience for the players, for the parents, and everybody involved. We actually had 5 of our kids over the different age groups. They were selected as one of the best players in the age group. There's 11 players that were selected, and we had several of our kids that were picked to those best 11 teams. So it's a good individual accomplishment for them, but also a good accomplishment for the club.
It also, as you mentioned, when you put the numbers in perspective, I mean, you're competing against Dallas with 100,000 players. So when you look at the talent level, like you said, the coaches, the involvement, that's a huge honor to go and be in the Final Four. And then when you look at and really representing at a national level our area, but then what that means for the players, like you said, and the recognition, the awareness, the spotlight that gets shown on them for college recruitment and opportunities, it's a really powerful game changer for these youth. And so talk about that in terms of the context of college recruitment and putting a spotlight on these players in a big way for bigger opportunities.
Sure. So we are, over the last 3 years, I think we've put about 85 players into college programs. And that can range from D1, D2, D3 to NAIA, some smaller schools and what have you. But basically, to break that down, kids that want to continue to play after club soccer, they're getting those opportunities. They're getting those opportunities now as well, because I think, we've started to develop a reputation that if colleges are looking for quality players, then they know that they can rely on us. We're going to send them good quality players, good kids, good people, not just good players as well. So kids that will perform on the field, but also in the classroom, and then be good mission fits to their program. And that's important to us as well. It's not just about getting kids off to college. It's about kind of developing the holistic player, classroom, academics, athletics, all of that good stuff. So this last year, during a COVID pandemic, we've managed to place, I think, about 30 kids that are going to go off and play in college, and some of those kids have got a real chance to go on and play beyond as well. So it's exciting. This is the first year I coached some of these kids since they were 5 years old, and now they're passing on to college. So it's bittersweet for me personally, and it also reinforces the fact that I am definitely getting old. So that's not a good thing, but it's exciting to watch these kids grow and just watch their development at the next level.
It also means you know what you're doing. So, hey, that's also a good
I don't know
sign.
about that.
Well, but the other side, as you mentioned, is when you create a system, and that's exactly what you're doing, is you're creating a system. And so, like you said, the recruiters then come to the system because they know that what you're putting out is top-notch talent who's well coached in the classroom, on the field, who knows how to put in the effort at maximum level, but also is well coached with the fundamentals and all the other things that go along with that. At the same time, it also reinforces with the players as they come back and the other younger players see them go on and have success in college and beyond. On both sides, it creates that confidence. And then the parents obviously saying, wow, okay, look at what they're doing with these students and these youth and how they're developing. I want my child to go through that same process because of the ripple effect it creates in their life. So when you talk about soccer, like you said, it's not just on the field, it's in the school as well. And so it's discipline, sportsmanship, teamwork, and camaraderie, and learning that sometimes you're going to be the focus and sometimes you need to be playing the defense, So what are some of those things that when you talk to parents about the intangibles, the skills, the soft skills, the employability skills, all those things that are not just on the field, but create life opportunities? What are some of those things that you talk about in terms of the power of soccer?
Yeah, I think, soccer has been an important part of my life. It's allowed me to really focus and be disciplined. I'll be honest, if I didn't have soccer in college, I would have probably been lost because, your schedule is set for you. You're up at 6 a.m., you're going to weights, you're going to class, you're doing study hall, you're going to practice, you're playing games, you're on the road. You've got to learn the skills of time management. And it's the same with these kids that are in high school or, at the upper echelons of the teams. They're learning all these intangibles, like you said, that you just, I know it's a lot of money, but money can't necessarily buy the things that we're trying to teach them. We want them to be well-rounded. We want them to be disciplined. We want them to have interests outside of soccer. It's not the be-all and end-all. Quite honestly, not all of these kids are, hardly any of them are going to go on and play either professionally, and a very small percentage are going to go on and play in college. So we want them to be good adults, employable adults, and coachable, whether that's on the field or in their jobs. Can they take constructive criticism? Can they listen to what their boss or their coach is telling them and figure out things? And that's hugely important. And I would almost say that that's more important than any accolades or state championships or anything along those lines.
We'll wrap up with the timing for parents in terms of making sure that they're on the front end and have those, kind of set times for making sure that they're in the loop. And then obviously, where do we go to learn more? So website, phone numbers, where do we go?
So you can learn more at lobosrush.com. it's got everything on there that you need. So if you're interested in playing competitive soccer, we can figure that out for you. If you're interested in recreational soccer, we can figure that out for you. We've still got some spots open for rec soccer. That closes on August 15th. So, you know, if you're interested, please reach out and let us know. But yeah, you can follow along on all of the regular social media channels. We had a lot of fun with that at regionals. There's some good content. There's some of the girls took some daily vlog videos and what have you. So, you know, if you go on there and check some of that stuff out, you'll see kind of the other side of the competitive soccer experience. But yeah, any of those programs, and again, like I said, lobosrush.com, and we'd love to hear from you.
Well, congratulations on all the success and look forward to much more ahead. Thank you, Mark, for all you and your amazing team do. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Jeremy. Thanks for having me.